Let the house be in order. Please stand as we are led in prayer this morning. The gentleman from Hines, Representative Bell, will introduce our guest minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we have a good friend of this body, Pastor Robert McCallum of Priestley Missionary Baptist Church in Canton, Mississippi. And on behalf of Representative Ed Blackman and Lisa Davis, our own clerk here, I'll bring forward Pastor McCallum.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you this morning for another opportunity just to gather to do the work that you have called these men and women to. We pray, first of all, that you would meet their innermost needs even right now. And now, to God, we pray that you would speak to their hearts this morning about justice, fairness, integrity, and truth. We pray, oh God, that you would just lead them in the direction that they should go in their decision making. Help them this morning to work together as a body to work those things that are most needful for the betterment of the state of Mississippi. Lord, we thank you right now for your presence, and we thank you right now for each and every one of these men. Bless them, and women. Bless them in a mighty way. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. No, you did great.
Thank you.
Open machine, Madam Clerk.
I pass.
Thank you now.
I love you.
Close the machine, Madam Clerk.
There's a quorum present, Mr. Speaker.
We will have the reading of the journal. Gentleman from Rankin, Representative Weathersby, moves we dispense with the reading of the journal. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Report of select committees.
We have none, Mr. Speaker.
Report of standing committees.
We have reports on the calendar, Mr. Speaker.
Introduction of bills and constitutional amendments. Gentleman from Marion, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to dispense with reading of the introductions.
Is there objection to this? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk, we will follow that procedure. Resolutions, petitions, memorials, and other papers.
We have none, Mr. Speaker.
Introduction of guests and visitors. I'd ask that y'all would give your attention to the gentleman from Jackson. He's got some special guests here today, and he's going to introduce them to you. Gentleman from Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, my distinguished colleagues and friends of the House. What an honor it is for me to have this opportunity to introduce two special guests. Literally, these two guests are responsible for my existence, which almost half of my life has been spent with you, our colleagues, and in this beautiful chamber. These two people are responsible for laying the foundation of my success, providing the example of what it means to live a good life. And specifically, two things, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, respect everybody. Number two, work hard. It is an honor and a privilege, and please help me make welcome my parents, Henry B. Zuber Jr. and Patricia Lynn Morgan Zuber. Mom and Dad, please. My father will be a young 81 years old next month. Now, I won't tell you how old my mother is because she would literally shoot me right now in front of you. But here's my mom and dad.
It's an honor for us to be here and see all of you that do the work that makes Mississippi the great state it is, and we appreciate each and every one of you.
Let me ditto that remark because it is a pleasure for us to be here this morning, and we thank you for your service to the state of Mississippi. We wish you all the blessings of life. God bless you and take care.
Good to have you here. Great to see you again.
Well, we hear that you're the preacher.
I'll still come to Ocean Springs. I'll see you all. Good.
Gentleman from Oktibbeha, Mr. Roberson.
Mr. Speaker, I need to call a real quick rules meeting right now.
Chairman of Rules calls a rules meeting in the rules room right now. Gentleman from Scott, Mr. Miles.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Introduction, please.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you would turn your attention to the South Gallery. This morning when you came in on the bottom floor, you saw where the Mississippi Manufacturers Association had their top 4 finalists for the Next Generation Award Annual Mississippi Makers Challenge. And from the great city of Forest, Mississippi, we have some of our Raytheon employees who are a member of that top 4 for the Next Generation Jammer is their creation. Raytheon is known as one of the defense contractors that keeps our country safe. I would like for the Raytheon team to please stand with Ms. Kelly Wright. For the Manufacturers Association, we have Cliff Kent, Frankie Adair, Dan Miller, Neil Manich, Dave Bryson, Andre Hilly, Stephanie Braggs, and many other team members. We're so proud to have you, and thank you all for that you do for Scott County and the state of Mississippi and keeping us all safe as a country as a whole. Thank you.
Welcome to your capital. Lady from Jones, Ms. Robinson.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker and ladies and gentlemen of the House. If you could direct your attention to the North Gallery, I have 2 special friends here with me today who are like family. If you would please stand, David and Cindy Williams. David is a partner with Carr, Riggs, and Ingram, a top 25 CPA firm. He is a graduate of the University of Southern Mississippi with a BA in Business and Master's in Public Health. He has over 40 years of experience in numerous healthcare organizations. And my friend Cindy is also a graduate of USM. Woohoo! She holds a BS degree in education, and she was a former educator with the Wayne County school system. Now, this is the good piece, in my opinion. Cindy and David are the proud parents of 2 sons. Wilson is a captain in the U.S. Army, currently at Fort Briggs in the JF School of Special Forces. And Wesley is employed with Pascal Trucking Lines. Please help me welcome my friends Cindy and David Williams to our Capitol.
Gentleman from Adams, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for introduction.
You're recognized.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the North Gallery, I'd like you to help me make welcome the mother of our committee assistant, Ms. Coretta Johnson, on Zeta Phi Beta Day, Ms. Helen Johnson, and Ms. Faye Foster of the Rho Iota chapter of Mendenhall, Mississippi. Help make them welcome.
Gentleman from Rankin, Mr. Newman.
Introduction, Mr. Speaker.
You're recognized.
In the South Gallery, I have, I'm pleased to announce that we have one of the top 4 in the MMA's finalists, and they are from Precision Spine. They have the top 4 for the modular, I'm not sure I pronounced this right, but cutaneous screw system And I'd like to introduce Tim Bond, Tracy Brookings, Elliot Bingham, and Deidre Witten in the South Gallery. Help make them welcome.
Welcome. Gentleman from Pike, Mr. Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, when you got to your desk this morning, you should have had a little treat on your desk. It was not given to us by an advocacy group, but by a good friend, a high school classmate of mine, Miss Carkedra Jackson. She is the owner and operator of Bountiful Cakery. She has with her this morning Miss Sonia Jackson, her beautiful mom. You guys thank them and make them feel welcome to their capital.
Gentleman from Pearl River, Mr. Owen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Introduction. I'd like the House to make welcome my wife, Colby, who's here with us today, who celebrated her 30th birthday yesterday, along with my boys, Darby and Mabry, who are plundering through a lot of stuff on the desk. I've also got my staff in the balcony from my law firm who are visiting us here at the Capitol today, so please make them all feel welcome.
Welcome. Gentleman from Oktibbeha, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen in the House, I want you to help me welcome some folks who are one of the biggest power couples in the state of Mississippi. Can I get Frank Nichols and Tammy Nichols to please stand? I need to just love on them for a little bit. This is the first African-American police chief in the history of Starkville. Give them a round of applause. Newly retired. And his beautiful wife, she is a TV mogul. These guys are movers and shakers. I'm proud to call them my friends. Guys, this is what it looks like when you go to God's country. Thank you so much.
Gentleman from Rankin, Mr. Weathersby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like for you in the House to wish my desk mate a happy birthday. He's 21 today.
Happy birthday, gentlemen. 21. Gentleman from Oktibbeha, Mr. Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The gentleman from Oktibbeha, the junior gentleman from Oktibbeha, failed to say that Frank Nichols, the chief, was also my classmate from 1987. I just wanted to say hello and welcome him here.
Gentleman from Hines, Mr. Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please help welcome the Mississippi Association of Educators. They are in red today to my right. Please stand and be acknowledged. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have an introduction I'd like to make today. One of our special guests is the Hines track team. They're going to be here in a minute, but my son Andrew is the assistant athletic director at Hines Community College. He's joined me here on the stage today. Please make him feel welcome.
I recognize the chairman of rules. I believe we've got some special guests here with us today. We'd ask the Sergeant at Arms to bring in our first special guest.
Mr. Speaker, while we're having our special guest come in, could we go to item number 16, HR number 156, and bring it up?
gavel right here. Get it in a minute. Stand right there. We're about to get a good look at it.
Mr. Chairman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, House Resolution 156 is a resolution for Mr. Turner to come in for the service during World War II, and I would ask the gentleman from Tishomingo to introduce our special guest and say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the House. This is getting more frequent, but it's a great thing we're doing here. This is what a hero looks like right here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm proud to have the Veterans Administration Military Affairs Committee. If anybody else wants to come up, come and join us from the committee as we honor this World War II veteran. I met Mr. Turner just a few minutes ago out in the lobby when the Collins Nursing Home, he lives in the Collins VA home, and he says he loves it there. It's a great home. I met him just a little bit ago, and we done some research. I was thinking Mr. Turner was the oldest World War II vet in our state, but I've discovered that Mr. Turner's only 102-year-old, but we have one on the Gulf Coast that's 104-year-old. So he's second oldest in the state. I asked him where he was born. He said, I was born in Texas. I said, where'd you grow up? He said, I grew up in the Army. So he enlisted in 1940, ladies and gentlemen, 1940. So, Madam Clerk, if I could, it's a brief, would you read it for us? It's only like, here, I got it right here, ladies. I think it would pay great tribute to him if we read this.
Whereas Sergeant Pernellis Turner distinguished himself as a fearless combatant in the United States Army when nobly put his life on the line to protect the freedom of all Americans during World War II. And whereas after the relations between the United States and the hostile Axis powers had diminished and caused Lady Liberty to engage the extremist regime in World War II, Mr. Turner joined elite fraternity of soldiers in the United States Army and was sworn in on August 23, 1940. And whereas after he was sworn in, Mr. Turner's military occupation specialty was motor transportation, as he was one of the few African-American soldiers that had a driver's license. And whereas never wavering in valor, strength, and prowess, Mr. Turner was stationed in England and had 2 tours in France. And during the war, he transported Army vehicles from England to France. And as he was charged of picking up vehicles and delivering them where needed. And where Mr. Turner remained a steadfast and brave soldier for the United States of America, and because of his unparalleled bravery and patriotism, he attained the rank of sergeant. And whereas after helping facilitate victory for the United States in World War II, the heroic veteran shifted from an invaluable soldier to a priceless contributor in his community, as Sergeant Turner was honorably discharged on April 6, 1945. And whereas some gave all in World War II, the ultimate price to pay in order to protect the American way of life, and Sergeant Pernellis Turner stood through for the red, white, and blue. And his unflinching courage and gallant sacrifice reflected lasting glory upon himself and upheld the noble traditions of the United States Army. And whereas it is the policy of the House of Representatives to honor heroic Mississippians such as Sergeant Pernellis Turner for his dauntless fortitude and his remarkable dedication to the United States of America and to the people of the state of Mississippi, who are eternally appreciative, for without him, the freedom they know and love would not be possible. Now therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the State of Mississippi that we do hereby recognize the courage and bravery of Sergeant Pernellis Turner and commend his distinguished service during World War II on behalf of this great state and nation.
I asked Mr. Turner, did he want to address the House, and he said he sure would, so. You want to say a few words? Yes, sir.
I would like to thank you very much and for this honor. You honored me. And I did what any citizen should do. We should all protect our country. And God bless all of you. Excuse me. God bless all of you. And
You've got House Resolution 156 before you, honoring Mr. Turner. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
I'd ask we motion to suspend so you can get some pictures.
Gentleman from Jefferson, Mr. Harness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Introductions.
You're recognized.
Ladies and gentlemen in the North and South Gallery, I have constituents here with me today, Mr. Melvin Anderson, Ms. Barbara Brandon, and Ms. DeAndre Gaines. Please make them welcome.
Welcome. Gentleman from Choctaw, Mr. Hood.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, on behalf of the gentleman from Knoxville, Representative Mickens, and myself, would like to recognize Taylor Machine Works from Louisville for being selected as a top 4 finalist in MMA's second annual Mississippi Makers Challenge. Here today is Lex Taylor, along with his wife Margaret and Marshall Boyston. Please help make them welcome.
Gentleman from Covington, Mr. Sanford.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the South Gallery, some people I want to recognize. We have our Superintendent of Education, Ms. Babette Duty from Covington County. She's been with our school district for over 30 years and our superintendent for the past 3 years. We also have board member Sammy Heron. Mr. Heron, wave your hand. He represents my area on the Board of Education, and he's been there for 30 years as a school board member, which is probably one of the most thankless positions for the importance that it has. And so appreciate you all making the two of them feel welcome.
Welcome. Gentleman from Clark, Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, Miss Ellen Turner has been married to my desk mate for 50 years. Would everybody please give her a round of applause?
Congratulations, gentlemen. Gentleman from Chickasaw, Mr. Lancaster.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the South Gallery, I'd like to welcome today the Superintendent of Chickasaw County School District, my Superintendent, Mr. John Ellison. Welcome to your capital, sir.
Gentleman from Adams, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And not to be repetitive, but I jumped the gun and introduced these ladies earlier, but they are now in the South Gallery, the mother of Ms. Coretta Johnson, Ms. Helen Johnson, and Ms. Faye Foster, the Rho Iota chapter of Zeta Phi Beta from Mendenhall, Mississippi. Help make them welcome.
Gentleman from Jackson, Mr. Zuber.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, in the South Gallery, I would like to recognize Lumtronics from Ocean Springs. They were selected as a top 4 finalist for their Halo headlights in the Mississippi Manufacturers Association's 2nd annual Makers Challenge. Here today is William Steiner and Jason Havens. Please help me make them welcome.
Welcome. Lady from Hines, Ms. Foster.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, please help me welcome Mr. Lorenzo Grimes. If you would please stand. Mr. Lorenzo Grimes, he served 8 years. He has served 8 years as principal of Raymond High School. This will be his last year at Raymond High School. He has done a great job. Raymond High School is a B-rated school, the highest rated in school history. Please help me welcome Mr. Lorenzo Grimes.
Welcome, gentlemen. Lady from Hines, Ms. Yates.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. They are no longer in the gallery that I see, but the lovely ladies from the Junior League of Jackson have put chocolates and a notepad on your desk, and the chocolates are from Nandy's Candy, a local candy shop here in Northeast Jackson.
Thank you, lady. Gentleman from Jackson, Mr. Geis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Announcement. We've had an addition to the House. The gentleman from Rankin, Representative Yancey, has a new family member. Baby Evans K. Yancey was born yesterday, shortly after noon, 9 pounds, 9 ounces, 21 and a half inches. Daughter of Benton and Sarah Yancey. Give him congratulations through today.
Congratulations, Granddad. We will recognize at this time the lady from Hines, Representative Summers, to introduce and recognize our next special guest. Lady from Hines.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the House. We have recognized several Greek organizations from the Divine Nine this month, but this morning we have the opportunity to special 2 very important organizations, 2 who are very, very, very special to Mississippi's own Tony Stewart, who was the actress from In the Heat of the Night, and yours truly. We also have 3 more members of Zeta who work in the house: Miss Rhoda Barnes, Miss Coetta Johnson, and Kiffany Ward. Amassing more than 1,400 financial members statewide and hundreds of members in the youth and adult auxiliaries with 48 Zeta chapters across 82 counties, including 11 undergraduate chapters, we are dedicated to public service, leading efforts to help other people excel through our elder care initiative, prematurity awareness, and the Stork's Nest, which is a prenatal health program for low-income women. But there is one more thing that makes Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated and Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated even more special. And that is that we can claim an authentic brother-sister association through a constitutional bond, which allows both organizations to work closely together to promote justice, equal rights, and service to all. So colleagues, please join me in giving a round of applause as we celebrate and declare today, March 23rd, as Blue and White Day at the Capitol. And we invite you to join us in room 113 at 11:45 for a meet and greet and lunch at 1 p.m. in room 401A. Thank you all so much.
Welcome and congratulations to you all. Thank you for being here today.
Hey, we're going to introduce our next special guest at this time. I'm going to ask the Sergeant at Arms to escort special guests to the floor. Gentleman from Harrison, Mr. Haney, you have introduction? Right now.
Me? All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the South Gallery, I'd like James Kegler to stand. He's up here with MMA to honor the Mississippi Makers, but he is the Senior Vice President of Hancock Whitney and also the Chair of the Gulfport Chamber. Appreciate you coming, James. Welcome to the Capitol. Thank you.
Gentleman from Washington, Mr. Hines.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, on behalf of the senior gentleman from Washington and myself, we would like to ask the House to make welcome in the South Gallery a dear friend of ours and a wonderful educator, Ms. Joanne Fisher. Please make her feel welcome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am privileged to have on stage with me here the Hines Community College track and field team. This team was fortunate and earned the right to attend the National Junior College Athletic Association National Championship in Topeka, Kansas. Not every team gets to do that, only those who qualify. This team qualified for the Nationals. The women's team finished 10th in the nation, and the men's team finished 12th in the nation. They had 8 individuals on this team and one relay who finished in the top 7 in the national championships, and had 11 athletes who earned All-American status in 9 events. They are coached by Mr. Reginald Dillon, and the assistant coach is Willie Calden. The assistant athletic director is Andrew Gunn, who's here. And so today it is our privilege to honor them. This is certainly an accomplishment that is not common. This is not something we do every day in Mississippi. These athletes before you earned the right to attend a national championship, and they went to Topeka, Kansas, and they did a great job representing the state of Mississippi, and their accomplishments are something that we can be proud of, finishing as high as they did. So it is our pleasure today to recognize them for their outstanding achievement at the National Junior College Association Track and Field National Championships. Please give them a round of applause. we could have your attention, please. Let the coach say a word to you.
I'd just like to say thank you to all of y'all for the support they give to Hines Community College. I really like to thank Ms. Stephanie Foster. She's always around helping the student athletes around there and all the kids at Hines Community College. We couldn't do it without y'all. Appreciate it.
We recognize the chairman of rules. I believe he has some items to take up on the rules calendar. We'd recognize Madam Clerk to read the report from the Rules Committee.
Report of Committee on Rules, HCR number 55, Chief Gary Pontho Jr. commend for many years of public service in law enforcement and congratulate upon retirement. Ties sufficient to be adopted. HR number 160, Shadur Sanders, commend for being named top HBCU football player for 2022. Ties sufficient to be adopted. HR number 161, Reverend Wilford Earl Bridges, commend upon 20th pastoral anniversary. Ties sufficient to be adopted. HR number 162, George Ferguson, commend for many years of dedicated service and congratulate upon retirement. Ties sufficient to be adopted. HR number 163, Head Coach Kelvin Carter, commend upon outstanding season as head coach of the Vicksburg High School Gators boys basketball team. Time sufficient to be adopted.
Mr. Speaker, if we could go to HCR number 55 and take that particular HCR up. This is the Chief Gary Pontho Jr. commend for many years of public service. That's my explanation.
Don't see any questions. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the resolution, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 118 yeas, 0 nays, the resolution is adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if we could go to the rest of the HRs that were reported out, that would be HR number 160, HR number 161, HR number 162, and HR number 163. These are all similar in that they are commending life and businesses and high schools. A couple of these are, we had to get them out as quickly as possible because we have a funeral this weekend that we're making sure that we're getting a couple of these out too.
I'll give the members a moment to look. If there's no objection, we will take these House resolutions up in a block. Hearing none, we will proceed in that fashion, gentlemen. Question occurs on the adoption of these resolutions, 160, 161, 162, and 163. If you favor the resolutions, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolutions are adopted. Anything further, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir. If we could go to the rules calendar at this point and take up 1 through 4. These are HCRs 50, 51, 52, and 54. Take those up in a block, and if there are no objections, take them all up in a block and get everybody a chance to look at them to make sure there's not one they want to pull out.
I hear no objection to taking these 4 House concurrent resolutions up in block. We're getting them loaded in the computer.
Ladies and gentlemen, while she's doing that, our attorneys, they're trying to get our resolutions together, and it's awfully difficult whenever you bring a resolution to them and it's just the name. So I would encourage you to do the best you can at getting them good information. They've got about a week or so to get these things out, and it would really be beneficial to them to be able to have as much information about these people as you can. Keep in mind, they don't know these people, you do. And any information you give them to be able to put in this resolutions, make it a lot easier for them to actually do them. So please keep in mind whenever you're doing this to plug that information in, give them as much information as you can so that these resolutions will be special.
Okay, we are ready to vote on these HCRs in block. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the resolutions, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 110 yeas, 0 nays, the resolutions are adopted. Next item, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If we could go to item number 5, HR number 145, and take up the rest of the HRs, except for obviously number 16, which we've done already. That would be number 5, HR 145, number 6, HR number 146, number 7, HR number 147, number 8, HR number 148, number 9, HR number 149, number 10, HR number 150, number 11, HR number 151, number 12, HR number 152, number 13, HR number 153, number 14, HR number 154, number 15, HR number 155, number 17, HR number 157, number 10, HR number 158, number 19, HR 59. If there's no objection, or if there's any, give you all a chance to see if there's anyone you would take out of this block.
I'll give the members a chance to look at those while Madam Clerk, she's got them loaded. Those are items 5 through 19 on the rules calendar, with the exception of item 16, which we've already passed. Is there objection to taking these up in block? I don't see any. Question occurs on the adoption of these House resolutions. If you favor the resolutions, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolutions are adopted. Next item, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If we could go to number 20 and number 21, these are SCRs. This would be SCR 566 and SCR number 569, and take those up in a block.
Items 20 and 21 we will take up in block if there's no objection. Lady from Forest, Ms. McGee, for what purpose?
Out of order, Mr. Speaker.
You're recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I am very pleased to introduce my good friend and the superintendent of the A-rated Hattiesburg Public School District in the South Gallery, Dr. Robert Williams. Would y'all please help me make him welcome?
Welcome, gentlemen. Congratulations on that A rating.
Well, when you're as discombobulated as I am, it helps to be flexible. It's times like these I wish I had a joke I could tell, but every joke I can come up with is just an inappropriate one. So. If nobody would get it, that would be the problem. Yeah, when you have to explain.
Gentleman from Oktibbeha, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Introduction out of order.
You're recognized.
Thank you so much. I wanted to make sure that I introduce a couple of people in the gallery. They are with WeThePositive.org, which actually provides services to over 10,000 people living with HIV here in Mississippi. They're doing the hard work, the groundwork. Would you please give them a round of applause? Please stand, ladies. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Okay, we are ready to vote on these Senate concurrent resolutions. Open machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the resolutions, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 117 yeas, 0 nays, the resolutions are adopted. Anything further, Mr. Chairman?
Immediate release on all those.
Chairman asks for immediate release. Is there objection? Hearing none, we will do that. Thank you, gentlemen. We will go to the concurrence, non-concurrence calendar if any chairman has an item. Gentleman from Harrison, Mr. Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On page 23, items 2, 3, and 4 on the concurrence and non-concurrence, I'd like to invite conference on. That's House Bill 1369, House Bill 1390, and House Bill 1365.
We will take each of those items up separately, gentlemen, on the motion to invite conference. And these are on page 23 of your calendar for the members that are looking at your calendar in the for concurrence or non-concurrence calendar. The gentleman has called up item 2, House Bill 1369, and has moved to invite conference. If you favor the gentleman's motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. Gentleman from Adams, Mr. Johnson, for what purpose?
Just parliamentary inquiry. If I wanted to, for future reference, if I wanted to concur, the motion to invite conference takes precedence over the motion to concur. I'm correct in that?
I believe that is a precedent motion, gentlemen.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'm getting affirmative from folks that know even better than me that that is correct.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Jump from Harrison.
On item 3, House Bill 1390, I'd like to invite conference.
Gentleman's motion is to invite conference. If If you favor the gentleman's motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. Next item, gentlemen.
Item 4, House Bill 1365. I'd like to invite conference.
Gentleman's motion is to invite conference on item 4, House Bill 1365. If you favor the motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. I believe the chairman of local and private has one item he wishes to take up. On page 25 of your calendar, it's the last item there. Chairman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 1, call up House Bill 1807. Make the usual motion.
Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended. The bill considered engrossed, read the third time, and placed on final passage. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. You're recognized, gentleman, to explain the bill.
Have a committee sub.
Gentleman calls the committee sub up in lieu of the original bill. You're recognized to explain the committee sub, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The House Bill 1807 is for the city of Eupora. This would institute a new, it would levy a new tax. It would require an election. It would be a hotel motel tax of 2% that would go for parks and recreation facilities.
Gentlemen, hold on. Let's go ahead and adopt the committee sub.
Okay.
Madam Clerk's telling me I'm getting out of order a little bit. All those in favor of adoption of the committee sub in lieu of the original bill indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. We're on the committee sub now. I'm sorry, gentlemen. You may proceed.
Okay, I kind of got ahead of myself anyway. I was going to try to explain the committee sub as I got through it, but what we did in the original request from the city of Eupora, they had parks, recreation, and so forth, but they also had economic development. We removed the economic development language from the bill. That's the committee sub. And the rest of it, it's a new tax. It's a 4-year repealer. It's a 2% hotel motel that will be used for parks and recreation. And that is an explanation of the bill and the committee sub.
Questions? Don't see any, gentlemen.
Move final passage.
Gentleman moves final passage. Open machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 105 yeas, 6 nays, the bill passes.
Need an immediate release on that, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman asks for immediate release. Is there objection? Don't see any. We will do that, gentlemen. We will now go to the general calendar and recognize the chairman.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would go to item number 1 on the general. These are all the suffrage bills. I'd call HB 1811 up. I want you to recognize the gentleman from Pike to handle all of these, please.
Recognize the gentleman from Pike to handle the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
He calls the bill up, moves the rule. Chairman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended. The bill considered engrossed, read the third time, and placed on final passage. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. You're recognized, gentlemen, to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Chair. House Bill 1811 is Mr. Gerald Laird, convicted of the crime of robbery, convicted of the crime of robbery in 2003, discharged on May 6, 2006.
Questions on the bill? Gentleman from Hines, Mr. Stamps.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With the gentleman yield?
Yes.
Gentlemen, for the sake of the public that's watching, could you just explain the suffrage process so those may want to partake in it next year?
Yeah, so generally what we do in our committee when it comes to suffrage bills is the person has to have had committed, not taking any public funds, convicted of taking any public funds, and they had to have been discharged within 5 years.
Don't see any further questions.
Move for final passage.
Gentleman moves final passage. Open machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 101 yeas, 2 nays, the bill passes. Next item, Mr. Gentleman.
House Bill 1812, Mr. Ramon Williams, convicted of.
Gentlemen, you call that bill up, make the usual motion.
Yes.
Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended, the bill considered engrossed, read the third time, and placed on final passage. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. You're recognized to explain the bill, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. House Bill 1812, Mr. Ramon Williams, convicted of burglary of a vehicle in 2009, discharged in 2009, also convicted in 2013, theft of a vehicle, and discharged August 8, 2017.
Questions on the bill? Don't see any, gentlemen.
Move final passage.
Gentleman moves final passage. Open machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 95 yeas, 5 nays, the bill passes. Next item, gentlemen.
I'd like to call up House Bill 1813 and make the usual motions.
Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended, the bill considered engrossed, read the third time, and placed on final passage. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. You're recognized to explain the bill, gentlemen.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 1813, Mr. Cornelius Clayton, convicted of burglary in 2007 and discharged in 2008. I'm sorry, 2012. That's my explanation.
Questions on the bill?
Move for final passage.
Gentleman moves final passage. Open machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 99 yeas, 4 nays, the bill passes. Next item, gentlemen.
I'd like to call up House Bill 1815 and make the usual motions.
Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended, the bill considered engrossed, read the third time, and placed on final passage. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. You're recognized to explain the bill, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 1815, Ms. Mary Green, convicted of manslaughter in 1984 and discharged in 1992.
Questions on the bill?
I move for final passage.
Gentleman moves final passage. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay.
I do.
You or me? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 98 yeas, 6 nays, the bill passes.
Mr. Speaker, can I have immediate release on all of those suffrage bills?
Chairman moves for immediate release on those 4 items. Is there objection? Hearing none, we will do that, gentlemen. All right, at this time, we will recognize the gentleman from Scott to introduce our next and I believe last special guest of the day. Gentlemen, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the House, if you would look over into the North Gallery, you will see this group of beautiful-looking young ladies. They are your state champions this year in 2A basketball. They were also the Scott County champions, where they're a 2A school where they beat 3A schools in that Scott County and championship, and the district champions. But they're also the back-to-back state champions for girls. They stung a lot of teams over at the Big House this year, and teams throughout the year. They were joined with their head coach, Holly Moncrief, and assistant coach, Tika Lofton. I've got my pages in the gallery, Miss Maddie Walton and Miss Carly Parker, who will be presenting that resolution to them today on the behalf of me and Chairman Rushing. Would you please help me congratulate them on their great year of service and accomplishments as being your back-to-back state champions. Congratulations, ladies.
Congratulations, ladies, on an outstanding season. Good to have you here at the Capitol today. Okay, I believe that's all the business for us to conduct today. Am I missing anybody? Gentleman from Adams, Mr. Johnson.
Just for an announcement at the proper time.
No other chairman has an item they wish to take up. I believe we hit all the calendars except for the in-conference. I don't see any other. So at this time, we will do announcements. Announcements, Madam Clerk.
Local and private will meet 5 minutes after adjournment today in room 103.
Announcements by the members. Gentleman from Adams, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, every year the People's Caucus puts on an event to celebrate the time and the work we've been here. A little place to let your hair down, well, for those of us who have hair. So tonight, March 23rd at 7 o'clock, the Senate Democratic leader, Mr. Senator Derek Simmons, and myself welcome you to the All Caucus Sign and Die Party at Johnny T's Bistro and Blues, 538 North Ferris Street, Jackson, Mississippi. Everyone is invited. Please come out.
Thank you, gentlemen. Other announcements by the members. I don't see any. I recognize the gentleman from Oktibbeha for the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we adjourn until 10 a.m., but ask that the journal remain open until the last conference report is filed or until the clerk is informed that none will be filed.
You've heard the gentleman's motion. If you're in favor of the gentleman's motion to adjourn until 10 a.m. tomorrow, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The House is adjourned until 10 a.m. tomorrow.